You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. I'm slightly out of breath, slightly.
Yeah, why is that?
Busy day at work.
Yeah.
I'm still like...
You're still catching your
I'm
breath
still coming
from
down.
an hour ago?
Yeah. Oh.
What happened at work?
They changed the menu to like something like an experimental new menu that's just a fuck ton more work.
Really?
So I think I made like...
Is it like an exotic... Is it like... or is it like Carnival Week at the hospital?
Oh, man. When they did the Fair Food Week...
I was joking. That's a thing that...
When I started on like the busy position, they're like, we're going to do Fair Foods this week. And that was fucking
You mean like
nuts.
just and right foods? Fair. Like county fair?
Yeah.
State fair?
County Fair.
County fair, okay.
Corn dogs, funnel cakes, pretzels, like...
I do like that food. I do like that food, though.
Oh, man, it was nuts. Oh, it was nuts.
People just wanted it so bad?
Yeah.
Was it like a zombie outbreak?
I figured like no one's going to want this 2 days in a row.
Oh, yes.
No one's going to want this 3 days in a row.
Yes.
Oh, no, everybody. Like the entire hospital like lined up in front of me.
Corn dogs I could get tired of, but fucking like soft pretzels and funnel cake, I could live on that shit forever.
Soft pretzels, I'm with you.
Man, soft pretzels are so good. I had one in Germany because I was like, this place is famous for pretzels.
Yeah.
There's a little caveat to that story. It was in the airport. It was in the Frankfurt airport. I was about
What a German place. Auntie Anne.
Yeah. I was about to board the plane and I was like, one more German thing, pretzel, please. And it tasted just like, a fucking pretzel that you heat up in the microwave. Yeah, I mean, it tasted like something from the airport. Yeah. Like it was probably, I'm going to give you some mad props here. I haven't had your pretzels, but your pretzels at the hospital are probably better than this airport pretzel.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, man. We just put them in the oven.
Yeah, it's all about that salt, though. It's all about that salt.
Yeah, I do have to salt them. Because like today was, I made almost 250 tacos in the span of about 2 hours.
Is it taco week?
It was taco day.
Man.
Because normally like taco day today is like, no, we're going to have like a huge taco bar where you have to 15 different toppings and 3 different meats and blah, blah,
old
blah.
school Wendy's super bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Taco salad was also pretty bad, but work.
What's up with Tuesdays and tacos? I feel like is that just the easiest, like, what is that? Low-hanging
just some
fruit?
alliteration.
It's like, this begins with T, this begins with T.
Can we do it any other day? No, only Tuesday.
Because I thought for the
What about
longest
Thursday?
time-
Don't fucking say no. Don't you fucking dare.
It's not Taco Thursday.
Oh, I'm your beard host, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Oh, but this is also a podcast happening twice a week. We're play all games.
Video games.
Yeah, because we were talking about, what are we going to talk about for today's show? Earlier, like yesterday, we were trying to figure it out.
Are you asking me?
No,
Is this rhetorical?
Nope.
What is happening?
I might have made that sound like a question when I meant it to sound like a statement.
Oh, I got you. All right.
We were talking about what to do for today's show.
Yes, we were. Man, I felt real on the spot there. I was like, Final Fantasy Tactics? That's what I'm prepared to talk about.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, I brought that up a long time ago, and then you played through most of it when it was on your iPad.
Yeah, I played through most of it. The War of the Lions was ported to iOS, and I played it there. And then I played it 1.5 times on PlayStation. So I played this game through. It's just been a while since I've actually finished the game. Finished it. Oh, and actually I lied. I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I have played half of this game on the Sony PlayStation 1, all of the game on my PlayStation 3 when it came out on PSN, and then another half maybe on my iPad.
Yep.
So I've kind of have like a wide...
You do.
I mean, wide range of experience with this game, just not very deep.
Because I've played this through on PlayStation and Vita.
This is one of your favorite games.
This is one of
fair
my
to say?
top 5 of all time favorite games. So it's like, well, it's been a long time coming. I can easily talk about that. And so today will be Final Fantasy Tactics, and we will continue to weekly do Final Fantasy Tactics for the rest of the year.
Welcome to 2017.
And that joke is going to sound really weird to somebody who's not listening on time.
Yeah. Or me, who didn't get it. Because I was like, oh, right, this shitty year isn't over yet.
Nope.
2016 is not over
I've
yet.
had a good 2016. I feel like I'm the only one.
I think you're the exception that makes the rule.
Because whenever that 2016 year in review on Facebook, because Melissa was like, best year ever. I was like, no one else is posting that. I haven't seen any more of these.
How many likes did that one have? Well, 5 angry faces. It's just, I mean, you need to have a more politically diverse friends on Facebook. Probably get some hearts.
That's true.
And, David Bowie haters, hearts.
Yeah, just
all kinds of,
Alan Thicke haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's probably more of those than David Bowie haters.
That'll be our next Facebook poll.
I think that's a good
Who do
idea.
you hate more?
10,000 TADPOG points to the first person to make that poll on TADPOG Nation Facebook group.
All right.
Congratulations, Exalted Lord Micah Purdue.
Tony gets up pretty early.
Yeah.
We'll have to see who gets up early and listens.
Time Lord Josh Edwards. He used to be like an early
would wait
listener.
until. Yep.
I don't know if he still does that
It's
or
true.
not. We'll find out.
Try to be the first one to listen.
We'll find out. 10,000 TADPOG points on the line.
So before we talk about, in my opinion, one of the greatest games ever, Final Fantasy Tactics, we have a package here.
We do?
We do.
This is from our very own TADPOG Santa, Jack and Ziggy Moons.
Yeah.
There is an image of Ziggy on the package that is appropriate for the holiday season.
And it's marked 12/12, which I always remember because that was my anniversary with my high school girlfriend. I wish I could forget. That's one of those tidbits.
Really?
I wish I just didn't know.
You remember
I've
it
forgotten her
still.
phone number.
Yeah.
That's gone. That's been deleted. That's inside out style, been a gray memory ball that's been vacuumed away.
I can relate kind of. I remember one of my high school girlfriend's birthdays, and I'll never forget it. And it's just because it's a really easy date to remember. It's 11/22. So it's just...
That's probably why 12/12 sticks in my head.
Yeah, because that's easy to remember, yeah. All you have to do is memorize 2 numbers.
All right. New text document .txt.
Nice. Creed thoughts. .blog. That's an Office deep cut.
Forget it. Oh, man.
Hey, that show's really old.
It is. I
Yeah,
know it is.
that show's really
Oh,
old.
man.
It dawned on me today where I was like, man, I'm going to go home and watch one of the Office Christmas episodes for Christmas. And then I was like, man, when did those come out? And I was like, oh, like 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah,
like
man.
10 goddamn years ago.
Yeah, man.
And it's like those 10 years went by real fast.
I remember because I was watching The Office because now Melissa and I have like 10 episodes left and we're done. But binge watching it like this.
Yeah.
And just seeing how Jenna Fisher developed as an actress through the course of the show, going from like a mousy, quiet to like she's doing like good voices and impressions, and she liked that toward the end of the series. And I remember like I love her. I think she's incredibly attractive. I remember when she was like the it girl.
Yeah.
And now it's just like I have no idea what happened to her, and it makes me sad. I've not seen her do anything in such a long time.
Surely she's still working, right? Which is
Surely, but
right.
And I remember John Krasinski was almost Captain America.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was first runner up. He was like cast and everything, and then they announced it that he was, and fan reaction made them replace him with Chris Evans.
Like Marvel fans, like Captain America fans.
Yeah, they
reacted
huge
negatively.
outcry. Yep.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I could see him like, I guess. I guess they could transform him like Star-Lord, Chris Pratt. Because I'll be honest, like, I was surprised when I saw Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, damn, dude got fit. But then, like, I rewatched some Parks and Rec, like, even season 1, and it's like, he's not that out of shape. Like, I could see, like, underneath that pot belly that he's got a decent build.
Yeah, we all do.
Not me.
Underneath all this.
Not me. But, looking at Chris Pratt, it's like, yeah, I could see it. Because, he's I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like a bigger dude.
I like that they addressed it in the last season of Parks and Rec.
I know.
What happened to you? Stop drinking beer.
Yeah. That was a nice television tangent. I like it. Hello from TV land.
Motherfucking Tadpog. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus, Solstice, Kwanzaa, Taryn's birthday, etc., etc.
Dang, knowing Taryn's birthday.
I think today was her birthday.
It's almost her birthday.
She doesn't have Facebook anymore, so it's hard for me to know when anybody's birthdays are.
Happy birthday, Taryn. Don't be a pussy and enjoy it, okay? Hashtag sorry, Taryn.
God, I hope she gets drunk and calls in tonight.
That would be great. I think her birthday's actually 2 days from now.
2 days? Okay. A couple eps back, Tyler said something about sending them some booze. My eyes widened. So, well, here you go.
It was
Have
audible.
some watermelon rum. I got it as a gift, and I'm re-gifting it to Tadpog.
Awesome.
We will take your re-gifts.
Yeah.
I don't know how old it is, but
Great.
it's still sealed, and I'm pretty sure booze doesn't expire unless it's Irish cream. Also, more of that cranberry relish. Fuck yeah.
Is that correct? Will booze expire, Tyler?
The Irish cream, I don't remember. I haven't bought Bailey's in such a long time. I don't remember there being an expiration date on it, but it has cream in it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I know it's also like out at room temperature, so I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
And a bag of Tapatio Doritos.
What?
Yeah, Tapatio. Since you guys said you like Tapatio in the chat, it's that Mexican.
Oh, yeah, the hot
Doritos.
sauce.
I'd heard of
Yeah.
it. Those are kind of fabled. That's awesome. And the one game you guys talked about doing way back in the day, Leisure Suit Larry.
All right, the original, I hope.
I just have one request for this play, the EGA version, which has the text parser.
It
and
is.
play it with Josh or Nicole, a la Zork and Leather Goddesses of Phobos.
Okay. I'm down for
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
going to have to be a Patreon.
I'm cool with playing Leisure Suit Larry with Nicole. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for the entertainment. Tadpog, Jack of Ziggy Moons, Akemi, Mike H.
Thank you, Jack and Ziggy Moons. All right, let's open this up.
Bubble wrap.
Oh, sweet. Bubble wrap.
Bubble wreckage. Fuck, man. See, I'm going to have to hold on to these two because I know Miller's going to fucking mark out for these.
For what? Oh, the Doritos? Man.
I've heard so much about these.
I didn't know they existed.
I only know that they exist because of Reddit. Everybody talking on Reddit about how amazing they are.
Now, how do you pronounce that? Tapatio?
Tapatio?
I don't know. Tapatio?
Tapatio?
Is how someone at work pronounces it, but I'm pretty sure they're wrong.
Tapatio salsa picante. I'm going to set this aside.
Yeah, we got to get all set up first.
Because, man,
That
I'm
looks
looking forward to
vacuum
those.
sealed almost.
Yeah.
Like, there's no air in that bag. That's crazy. All right, let's see. You know,
Some more of that good cranberry relish.
John Krasinski, I think, could have made a good Bucky. And that's
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. He would have made a good transition between, like, goofy sidekick to...
Right. He wouldn't have been as...
Because you could have still, like, the current, like, Winter Soldier, you can't see the old Bucky in
Right,
him at all.
right.
But if John Krasinski had been Bucky, then, yeah, I feel like you could have seen both worlds. That would have been a good cast.
Questionably, the fanfic would have been less sexy. Because it is less sexy thinking about them kissing than it is the current Winter Soldier and Captain America.
Oh, they're so broody.
Yeah. Just two brooders. That's what people say about us, I think.
Oh, man. Watermelon Bacardi rum.
Let's do it. Let's open that up. I want some of that. Actually, I want to wash down some of these Tapatio Doritos with that watermelon rum. That's probably a good flavor combo, right?
And then, oh, man, it's pristine.
Holy
nice
shit,
box.
that's in box?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, it's the collection. What's that 5 say? 5 full games. That's it's a Sierra collection.
Damn, dog. Almost knocked over the whole fucking table.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, and there are 2 jars of this cranberry relish. So that I'm sure one of these is for you. And this stuff is so good. Because Ken and I just sat down with a spoon and passed it back and forth. Because really, my Jack and Ziggy Moons makes the best cranberry sauce I've ever had in my entire life.
It's really, I don't like cranberry sauce, and I liked Jack and Ziggy Moons. So that's saying something. I don't like cranberry.
How would you like to imbibe this Bacardi?
I'm just gonna take a pull off the bottle if you're okay with that.
Okay.
It should be nice and cold because this package has been in my car for 4 days, and it's been very cold outside,
It is cold. I feel it.
which may color how we consume
Oh, yeah,
it.
that smells like watermelon. That smells like watermelon gum.
It does. I like rum. I like Bacardi specifically, and I like watermelon. So Let's see.
Let's see how those all marry together.
I like watermelon Laffy Taffy, which is what it smells like. So,
yeah, it's a good Foley.
That's not great. No, that's not great. Ugh.
Okay, I will do the same, although I'm not nearly adept of rum drinker as you.
Hit that aftertaste, though. That's rough.
On the front end, it's good.
The front end is good. The aftertaste is bad. That would be good to mix with something.
It definitely needs a mixer.
Yeah.
It needs something because
That's not a sipping rum.
it's sweet. It's really sweet. So yeah, I need something like to cut that with. Make some kind of dry mixer.
Or you could double down. Go with like Sprite or something.
Yeah, I got some Sprite. We could do that.
Let's do it up. Fuck this Final Fantasy Tactics podcast. Let's experiment with rum for an hour. Let's do 14-year-old cast.
Man,
Mom and Dad are gone. We're gonna mix this with anything we can find.
because Melissa was not a part of this, but I remember the first time like I heard about Pretty Gatsby and Good Time Gatsby getting drunk as middle schoolers was like they found like ice cream flavored rum or like vanilla ice cream rum somewhere and like mixed it with melted ice cream and got drunk as kids and then horrendously sick.
I know you weren't a big drinker as a youngin'.
I did not take a sip of alcohol until I was 20, like 23 maybe. And that was plum wine at a hibachi restaurant.
I love that. That's a really good. I like that. Like, I feel like, wouldn't it be like, okay.
It was me and Jacob. I don't know if Jacob had had
Really?
one before that either. So we both like, all right, let's bust this cherry together.
So on TADPOG trading cards, where we have our energy, our energy projection, and our mental acuity stats on the back, the other stat, and our blood type, of course. The next stat needs to be the first drink that we had.
Drinking age.
Right, drinking age and what it was. Because I do feel like that's kind of like, because a defining quality. Because you say that, like plum wine at a hibachi restaurant, I'm like, yeah, that is kind of Tyler. Like that is totally believable. I believe it. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just like, that's just okay.
I did take a sip of my dad's beer when I was like 6, and my dad never drank beer, like ever. He was at somebody's house. They
He was
offered
like,
it to
here,
him.
drink this. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, he was just sitting there holding it. Really?
Yeah.
Can I try that? Okay. Yeah. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, I think we've all gone through that. I remember taking a sip of beer when I was a kid, and it was awful.
I still think it's pretty awful.
And then Wiz and Sage Ian gave me one while I worked at Apex, and I was like, oh, this is bad, but I want to be cool. And then,
You're gonna give me lots of money someday, old man.
oh yeah, it paid off. Yeah, it paid off. Wiz and Sage Ian, like, tied for number one and Patreon donations monthly. So, yep, I'll drink as much beer as you want.
I guess that still counts if you're on a Patreon donor.
I'll build a time machine.
As much beer as you want.
Go back and drink all the beers.
Let me crack open this Doritos.
I am ready.
I have high hopes for these. I have very high hopes for these.
I do like this sauce.
Because this is something like, short of somebody sending it to us, like we would never have gotten these.
No. It's probably on Amazon for like $25.
Yeah.
Fair warning, I haven't had dinner yet, so I got a lot.
Most of this bag might be
smells
gone.
Really good. Yeah, the bag might be gone. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a couple. You ready to do this?
I am.
You ready to crunch all up in
I
people's
burped and burped watermelon.
ears? Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's gonna stay with you.
Okay.
You ready? That's a good chip.
That's good.
It's not too different from their spicy nacho, I don't think.
Yeah. I put a little more heat afterward, but I like that. I am pleased. Not over the moon, but pleased.
Let's see what taquitos.net has to say.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
They tweeted at us, which means that I think
We've made it.
Yeah, no, it's like, it reminds me of like middle school when like a girl that I kind of have a crush on like says something to me like, could you hand me that book? And I'm like, we're boyfriend girlfriend now. So that's my relation. That's how I feel about
Of course
taquitos.
I can, my wife.
Right? Yeah. Tip of Fedora. So that's how I feel about taquitos.net now. Unfortunately, I don't see I don't see it listed.
Oh.
Here's a deal. We can save 70% on Tapatio flavored Doritos.
Oh, man. Or we really saved 100%.
Oh, shit. Dog, you're not going to believe this shit. Taquitos.net, proud sponsor of TADPOG podcast, not really, just our girlfriend, says they have a link, Doritos flavors, the complete guide. I think maybe we should... 2017, we stopped talking about video games. We exclusively try all the Doritos.
The year of the Dorito.
Every episode is an hour long about a Dorito flavor. Where we just really dive in.
We're the Dorito dorks. Welcome to...
The Dorito dorks. What do you think? Patreon exclusive podcast weekly?
Yep.
You know what? I wish I had the time. I was thinking about this today and I was like, Dave, you're fucking crazy. I was thinking today, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we just had like a weekly Patreon podcast? So like only the Patreon donors get.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Uh-huh.
It would also be awesome if I had an extra day of the week on which I could prepare and record that podcast.
No, that would be awesome.
It'd be really cool. So here's my proposal. We'll talk about it, you and I. But I think that we should set a Patreon goal and like be real about it and be like, if we reach X amount of dollars, then we'll do that thing. We'll do a weekly episode. It could be Oops All Goofs. We could do Oops All Goofs that's just a weekly show that's on the Patreon stream.
Okay. In addition to our monthly Patreon for the normal?
No, that goes away.
Okay.
That has to go away.
Okay.
But here's the brilliance of it. You think that recording 4 extra episodes a month would be harder than doing one bonus episode. I disagree. If it's just you and me sitting down and recording something for an hour, I feel like that's so much easier than it is like scheduling a Patreon, doing watching a movie or playing a game, whatever we have to do for it. I would rather just sit down and be like, what's up, man? Tell me how the fair food went this week. And like, just whatever fucking happens. We just talk about whatever the fuck comes up.
Did you see Ace Ventura when it came on cable the other day? Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have cable, but I wish I did.
That's almost a dated sentence at this point.
What is cable? Not like
Deadpool's partner?
All right, here we go. Doritos, Tapatio. We're just going to go with that. According to here's the review on taquitos.net. Taste. This new take on Doritos, released along with Tapatio versions of Fritos and Ruffles. This brand is just ever-reaching.
Yeah, just not in our neck of the woods.
Let's see. It had a slightly darker shade of orange than the ordinary nacho cheese Doritos, but otherwise looked fairly similar. On close examination, there were some tiny dark specks of seasoning unevenly distributed over the surfaces, which seemed to account for most of the difference in color. I crunched in to find the usual Doritos texture with an intense, tasty, and fairly hot flavoring. There was a good balance between the Tapatio hot sauce and various kinds of cheese, so it was a nice combination and didn't overly rely on the hot sauce. I'll agree with that sentiment. The heat wasn't nearly as hot as Doritos Flamas. You familiar with that?
Nope.
That's a thing we need. Hey, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, dog, I got a hookup on Doritos Flamas.
They're all over my local Piggly Wiggly.
What's our P.O. box?
3785 Paducah, Kentucky, or TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance.
There we go.
P.O. Box 3785 Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Send us Doritos Flamas, and we will give you 50,000 TADPOG points. It's been a while since we've issued
That's true.
those
We
out.
have all these just like we're sitting on them like Scrooge McDuck.
I'm reopening the mint. Like it's been so long that the face on the coin has
We're reopening
changed.
the Disney vault.
Act now for this limited time. You can get Bambi. Otherwise, you're fucking cut off.
Nope, done.
Who's the guy at Disney you think who's like in charge of Bambi? Because you know there's a guy and it's like, you're in charge of Bambi. That's your job. You make sure no one gets to see it.
Has antlers he gets to walk around the
Right.
studios with.
Let's see.
It's the head of Walt Disney set up like a magic 8-ball. That
Like
they
the
just
literal
shake.
head?
The literal head of Walt Disney, frozen head of Walt Disney, and his eyes are magic 8-ball triangles. That what are we releasing? What are we releasing? When are we release it? Shake, 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 shake. Bambi, 1998.
Or they just cast Speak with Dead.
Jews. No, Mr.
Walt,
Disney.
no,
No, Mr.
Walt.
Disney. Please.
We understand. Yes, anti-Semite. We get it. But Bambi though. All right, let's see. The heat wasn't nearly as hot as Doritos Flamas, but it still left behind a lingering hot aftertaste. The aroma, kind of like regular Doritos. I like this. Kind of like regular Doritos, except way more intense. Like, that's an honest sentence. Like, that's no flourish on that. That's just a dude straight up typing what he thinks. I like it. Let's see. On second whiff, I could smell some strong taco powder. There we go. That's it. Ooh, they have more snacks like this, Tyler. Our podcast, our chips podcast has legs. 730 hot chips listed on taquitos.net.
Damn.
Taquitos.net, ladies and gentlemen, for all your snack review needs.
That is far larger. And like, so for everything we've read, I'm like, man, those are I understand that's what they're saying and agree. Like, they've nailed it.
I know. If we just keep plugging them, eventually they might pay us.
Eventually.
You
want to talk about pharmacy tactics now?
I do. I'm going to eat these chips. Is that cool?
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Do you hear that?
You eat them first or you want to do it during?
No, it's fine. I'll just do whatever.
Okay.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah. Dave, do you hear that?
No, what is it?
I don't know. This time it sounds like a real train.
Oh, is this the sound of us giving up forever
Maybe.
on this bit? I do hear that. Yay! Welcome to we don't get creative with this anymore.
Somebody give us a plot device. So
This is the TADPOG MacGuffin. This is like at least the third TADPOG MacGuffin, where it's like, well, we don't have trains anymore, but we do have this.
yeah.
Which, of course, ushers in a segment, which I am completely and totally prepared for, called Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Yeah. Just go to wikipedia.org.
It's totally good, man.
Type in Final Fantasy. Which one are we talking about?
Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Now, Tyler, is that the 1997 video game?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Trick question. Yeah. I trapped you. You don't know shit about this game. It was 1998.
Damn.
All right. Okay, guys. Final Fantasy Tactics, or as it's known in Japan, I haven't done this one in a bit, Fanaru Fantashi Takatatsu. Now, I fucked that up. Hold on. It wasn't racist enough. Taku Tikusu. That's really hard to say.
Taco Tico?
Taco Tuesday. Final Fantasy Taco Tuesday is a tactical role-playing game. A tactical role-playing game developed and published by Square, now Square Enix, or Enix, for the Sony PlayStation video game console. Is it Enix or Enix?
I say Enix, but I can see where the argument's made both ways.
I've always said Enix, but when I listen to people who know what they're talking about, they say Enix, which makes me feel like, well, damn it. I have to like reverse engineer like all the pathways in my brain.
I've only done that with Suikoden.
Yeah.
So, because for years it was Suikoden.
Suikoden? Yeah, you got to fix that one though, because that's like transposing consonants.
I mean, it was a shakeism.
Yeah,
so.
I get it. Let's see. It came out for the Sony PlayStation video game console. We haven't done many PlayStation games.
We have not.
Let's see. LSD Dream Emulator, we've done.
Bushido Blade.
And is that it?
Man, it might be.
All right. Welcome to the third PlayStation episode where we eat chips and plug taquitos.net for 15 minutes. It is, Tyler, the first game of the Final Fantasy Tactics series and was released in Japan in June 1997 and in the United States in January 1998. The game combines thematic elements of the Final Fantasy video game series with a game engine and battle system unlike those previously seen in the franchise. In contrast to other 32-bit era Final Fantasy titles, Final Fantasy Tactics uses a 3D isometric rotatable. That's a word that I never use.
Rotatables. Get her done.
Get
them done, David.
Rotatables with bitmap sprite characters. It is set in a fictional medieval-inspired kingdom called Evilus or Ivilus.
I always say Evilus, but I do think it's like Evilus.
Evilus.
I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
I don't know how to, honestly, I don't know how to pronounce it. I've said it both ways, Ivilus, Evilus, I don't know. I'm going with Evilus for the sake of this podcast.
Yep.
I feel
Okay.
like that is going to get the least amount of messages to me tomorrow.
What sounds, usually it's like, what doesn't sound quite natural but it's acceptable? That's probably more than likely the way.
Evilus. Let's see, which was created by Yasumi Matsuno. The game story follows Ramza Beolve. Beolve? How do you pronounce it?
Spell it for me.
Beoulve. It's unpronounceable.
Beluve is what I always said.
Beluve? That I don't think is right.
Not, yeah.
So I don't know. We'll just say Ramza.
And I always say Ramza. So.
Oh shit. Well, that could be right. I don't know. Tyler, you might not know this. He is a highborn cadet who finds himself thrust into the middle of an intricate military conflict known as Major Dad. I'm sorry. It says the Lion War. I get those confused.
His father, Balbanes, was pretty much Major Dad.
I get those confused all the time. Let's see. The Lion War, where two opposing noble factions are coveting the throne of the kingdom. As the story progresses, Ramza and his allies discover a sinister plot behind the war. And with that, I'll let you go ahead. I'll just chomp on these. I'll just nibble on these chips.
Because this game, man, it is nearly to me, it's one of those nearly just perfect games.
It's a perfect game
for
for you.
me. Like, fuck, man. I remember when I first heard of this game, I was not interested. It was different and it made me mad because, when you like something one way and you're young, it's like, oh, that's the way all things need to be because that's the way they're good. So I just wanted more like Final Fantasy 2 and 4 that or 4 and 6 that I had played before. I want more just turn-based is the best, blah, blah, blah. So I shut this out of my mind. I was like, I just dismissed it immediately. And then once Cockmaster Ashley Shake got it, played it, and he was telling me about it, and I just kind of like rolled my eyes at him.
Yeah.
Until he was like, yeah, but you definitely, you wouldn't like it, and I don't think you could play it. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, it's really hard. I don't think you could do it.
Was he being serious or was it reverse psychology?
To this day, I do not know.
Yeah. We'll ask him when I see him.
I can perfectly see him doing that both ways. So I was like, fuck you, loan me that game. And so I played it to prove a point, but it did not take long for me to be like, oh, fuck, this game is amazing. This game is amazing. Because I was already into the Shining Force series, and this is very similar to a much more crunchy Shining Force.
Okay, I've yet to play a Shining Force game. Mm-hmm. I know that we've got one Shining Force game on the Genesis list. Once we get over this Phantasy Star 4 hump, which is rapidly becoming a meme, I believe, as Master of Coin Ryan Walters has said on the Facebook group. And he's right. And I do like his idea that we never do it. I think that's the only way this show can go on. Phantasy Star 4 has to sacrifice itself for TADPOG to continue, I feel like. I've never played a Shining Force game. So you comparing Final Fantasy Tactics with Shining Force, you putting them in the same realm actually makes me excited to play a Shining Force game. Because I also really like Final Fantasy Tactics. I didn't at first.
Yeah. Because, and don't get me wrong, it is a difficult game up to a point. Then I feel like it gets dramatically easier. But
what changes?
We'll get there.
Oh.
I feel like it kind of hits a climax of difficulty whenever you fight Weegraf for the last time.
Yeah.
And that is the most difficult fight in the game, but you win that, and then I feel like it's all sort of...
It's a cakewalk.
Yeah. It's a cakewalk once you get and use Orlando, it's a cakewalk. Other than that, the difficulty descends and does not get as high as it did when you fight Ascendant Weegraf.
I got to a point in this game where I did feel like, I'll be honest with you, once I got past, I guess, I don't know if you call him the first boss. What's his name? Help me, please. Gafgarion?
The Dark Knight?
Yeah. He's a Fell Knight in the War of the Lions because Dark Knight becomes an actual class that you can use.
Oh.
Dark Knight isn't a class in the original Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
It is, but it's only for NPCs, and it's only for that one NPC.
Yep. And the abilities aren't that good.
His abilities aren't, but they changed them in the War of the Lions.
Oh, okay.
And he becomes a Fell Knight. Dark Knight becomes a class that you can, a job, I'm sorry, I keep saying class, D&D, I guess, has, washed my brain to say that. But Dark Knight becomes a job, and Fell Knight becomes the job that you can't equip.
Yeah.
That you can't learn.
Because, man, I don't want to say trolled, but I got tricked so hard with Gafgarian.
How so?
So hard. And I'm jumping way ahead here, but
That's fine. We're having a conversation, man. I'm eating chips. You're talking about Final Fantasy Tactics.
Because in Final Fantasy Tactics, because it's, you described it, sort of the isometric grid-based movement fighting. Whenever you have your grid of usually 5 to 6 characters on one side of the battle mat, enemies on the other, you move and fight. Whenever someone is killed or they hit 0 hit points, they death cry, fall to the ground. Yeah, and you have...
I hate that sound. I do. It's just like anxiety, just immediate. It's just like an immediate, it's just an immediate, like my brain just pumps anxiety juice into my veins when I hear that sound.
You want the good adrenaline? No.
Give him the bad stuff.
Yeah. Let's give him some acne.
What's the stuff we normally give him? Yeah, give him that. Give him the bad stuff.
Then you have 3 turns to cast raise, use a Phoenix down, something like that on that character to get them back up. But at the end of those 3 turns, one of 2 things happens. They either turn into a treasure chest or they turn into a crystal, which the crystal is basically their memories, their essence. So if they turn into a treasure chest, you walk over the treasure chest, you collect a piece of their equipment.
Right.
And if you turn into a crystal and walk over them, you learn one of their job abilities. So I remember having this conversation with Shake because eventually Gafgarian starts off as your ally, turns on you. You have to fight him later on. You fight him, because the battle it's a difficult battle. Your Ramza walks through a castle gate. The gate shuts behind him, so it's just him and Gafgarian on one side, rest of your party on the other. And the rest of your party can get to you. It's just a long walk around the gate.
And they're fighting enemies. And those enemies are no joke.
Yeah, because archers in good positions up high.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to really
battle.
maneuver to even get within striking range, I feel like, to the enemies.
Like even like a summoner can hardly reach where they are. It's a hard battle. So you need like a good Ramza because it's just you and Gafgarian. And of course Gafgarian's abilities are deal damage, heal himself from dealing that damage. So he's difficult. But he basically the first playthrough I just would defend as Ramza and heal myself until my party could catch up to me. Then Shake told me, no, man, if you fight Gafgarian by yourself, then when he dies, he turns into a crystal. And if Ramza walks over him, you can become a Dark Knight. You take his ability to become a Dark Knight. So I remember I had to I restarted the game and I played through and got Ramza very powerful. I wanted that completion. So I killed Gafgarian, turned into a crystal. Just I learned ether.
Which is an ability that chemists get, right?
Yeah.
So hey, you proved it wrong.
Yeah, you can do that.
At least there's that.
And of course, way later on the line, I figured out there's one super easy way to kill Gafgarian. No problem.
What is that?
Break his sword.
Oh.
He cannot do it.
He can't use any of his
He can't
abilities.
use any of his abilities. He can just punch you for a point of damage. So, yeah.
Next time I play the game, I'll remember that.
Yep.
Because I remember Gafgarian is in every Final Fantasy battle where I know there's something worth stealing off an enemy. I can't remember what Gafgarian has, but it's he has something worth stealing. What do you recall what it is?
It might have been his sword.
It might be his sword, but it's that is why that battle was always so hard for me because it's I didn't want to straight up kill him, and it's I just have to survive long enough to steal from him.
Yeah. And his abilities don't take MP, so he'll just use his powerful sword abilities every single round and heal himself every single round.
For me, that is the hardest battle in the game. It really is. For the level you're at when you fight him and all the positioning, that is, I feel the first battle in the game where it's good luck.
Yep.
It's like, to put it in like a Final Fantasy VI parallel, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. It's like Atma weapon. I feel like Gafgarian is the Atma weapon of Final Fantasy Tactics.
And I've done it before to where I had a summoner with teleport, and I was able to just teleport to the other side of the gate to join Ramza. But teleport's a high level ability, and that takes a lot of grinding to get it by that point in the game. But all right, backtrack a little bit more to the beginning of Final Fantasy Tactics.
I got to get these chips out of my way.
Yeah,
You're not going to have any left to eat. There you go. They're good, Jack and Ziggy Moons. You did good.
But yeah, this game starts out Ramza, nobleman, a good-hearted nobleman, because your father is just Balbane's attained. It says the rank of some kind of knight. Like I assume it would be theoretically be a class, like the strongest class or whatever. He attains that, but then he dies. And Ramza is the half-brother, the youngest half-brother. He's got two other nobleman brothers who hold position. One neutral to good and the other evil.
Which we need, what are their names?
Zalbag and Dysadarg.
Right, okay. One of them, I always think of his name as Balzac because it's Zalbag. So it's always like, I don't know. For some reason, I'm always like, Balzac.
Because he's your Ramza. I'll say you being the player. He's your pretty good brother. I mean, he's more neutral. He'll cover his own ass most of the time before he covers yours. But like, he's fair to you most of the time. Dysadarg is your straight up like asshole. He's out to get everybody brother. That's just like, man, fuck you.
And he causes some problems for you.
Oh yeah, very much.
And then tell me about, the story is really about a character named Delita. Is that correct?
It's really, because it is it's a sad, heartbreaking, and kind of realistic tale, because like the main story, the two big noblemen of the area are fighting, tearing Ivalice apart. And but that's just sort of that's the conflict everybody sees. Ramza's actually fighting the more important backdrop, because what's really going on is the character. I'm trying to who exactly. There is almost a cult trying to revive. They make it sound like they're trying to revive a Jesus type character, but an evil Jesus, like they're trying to revive an Antichrist figure.
Nega Jesus.
Jesus.
Please.
There you go.
Not Antichrist.
Nega
we don't
Jesus.
use that. Nega Jesus.
And
he comes out smoking cloves, cigarettes.
Nega Jesus.
That's how I envision Nega Jesus.
What's up, man? Why did everybody think I'm evil? I just like to have a good time.
I don't know, right?
And in order to do this, there are
I'm sorry. I don't die for your sins. I live for your sins. Sorry.
Nega Jesus.
Please continue.
Got our next t-shirts.
Nega Jesus TM.
He wields the cross like a sword.
Oh yeah.
He's got it on his back like Cloud, just like.
Yeah, I love it.
And to do this, there are the zodiac stones. Each one represents a different sign of the zodiac.
Right.
And they're powerful artifacts, but inside each one is an incredibly powerful demon who will tempt its user and try to take over anyone who uses the stone, accesses its power. And all these stones together can be used to, they don't have to be like united, they're basically sent out for people to get the things to do this ritual to revive
Nega Jesus.
I'm trying to think of the name, like Saint Ultima, something like that. A very underwhelming boss fight, but regardless, because it's Ramza trying to stop this from happening and gathering up the zodiac stones so they can't be used by anyone else.
But like history doesn't remember Ramza.
No, that's the sad thing, because he is doing the good thing and the right thing and making sure the world survives. And his best friend through childhood, Delita, who is like
a farmer's son.
Yeah.
Not a noble.
Yep. He is, the commoner, like, stable hand, stable boy. You know, he's basically Ramza's squire almost.
Right, sure.
And he wants to rule. He wants to take over. He wants to be in charge. He is the narcissistic, will do anything that he wants, do anything it takes to get what he wants figure. And spoilers, he gets it.
Yeah.
He does everything wrong and terrible, and for his efforts, history remembers him as the commoner who became king.
But I think there's something really important to Delita's character that we've left out. And what sparks all of this is that his sister is murdered.
Yep.
And I think that's really important because it humanizes Delita.
Yeah.
Because like for me playing through it, I could really I could see what he was doing and like being an opportunist, but at the same time, it's like I knew his motivation behind it. Like I knew all of this never would have happened if his sister hadn't died.
Because of the stereotypical like awful nobleman who treated him like shit, and like Ramza had to support to basically to help save the world. He had to use Algus to advance, and then of course he turns on you. He does awful things, and he's the one. He kills Delita's sister in front of him,
Right?
And nothing you can do about it. And then after that point, that's when Delita leaves your party, and that's like a time skip. I think the 4 chapters, and there's time passes in between each chapter. Representative, you can see Ramza grow and change. He looks different in every chapter.
Right. And there's Delita shows up, and there's usually some kind of scene between him and Ramza as you go.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a very political game. Like the story is very political.
Oh, it's Game of Thrones.
Like it is like probably out of the history of all Final Fantasy games and their spin-offs, this is probably the most political driven game. And I think that's pretty cool. I will say that I did not appreciate that playing through on the original PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Because there is some English in the game, which is most notable in the tutorial, where it says things like, please to equip the shadow item. And it's like, what? What does that mean? I don't understand. This is a completely new kind of game. Please use, like, I don't know. You got to tell me how to do this new thing. But like in the War of the Lions, when it re-released, the game, the story all of a sudden made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Because the translation or the localization was redone. And it's redone in a manner where it's like, oh, this is a really compelling story.
It's so good
that I don't have to like ask somebody, what does this actually mean? I don't have to do any external research outside of the game to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Because the remake has, the animated cutscenes I love the art style in this game so much.
Yep.
It is one of those timeless, like it looked good then, it looks good now. Like,
yeah, it has aged very well. And I love the remake. I know we're not to the point yet where we're recommending the game, but I mean, everyone knows that we're recommending the game, I feel like. If you haven't played the game and you want to, which I do suggest that you do, definitely play the War of the Lions, which is the re-release. Don't play. I mean, the PlayStation version is fine, but you're gonna get more out of it playing the remastered version.
And they're more because there are lots of secret characters. The big secret character being Cloud.
Right.
And then in the War of the Lions, they add 2 more characters.
Yeah, Balthier from Final Fantasy XII and Luso from Final Fantasy Tactics A2 for the DS. Have you played the spinoffs? Have you played Tactics Advance or A2?
I need to go back and try Tactics Advance. I really do. But I remember I got so thoroughly infuriated the first time I tried to play it.
Why?
I was so amped up for it. I was so excited for it. Sat down, I played it. One of the first battles, swords are banned.
Right, because there are judges in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
That keeps me from playing it.
Really?
That absolutely 100% keeps, because I would just want to go in and enjoy my experience and play the game and not suddenly have to follow an arbitrary rule that inflicts my play style right off the bat. Every single battle.
I like it.
Oh man.
I think as far as gameplay goes, I prefer Advance over Tactics. Yeah. And it's because I like games where it's like I like games like, okay, so Final Fantasy games I feel like are all about exploiting it. I feel like that's like a big draw for people who love Final Fantasy games, is like finding that exploit and just like putting everything into that exploit. Where it's like, oh, all of my characters in Final Fantasy VI can cast Ultima if I tool it right. So we're gonna do that. That's what we're doing for 100 hours. And it's like, okay, I mean, I guess, but I mean, that's like, and I've done it. Like, I mean, like I've fucking done it. I've been a middle schooler with absolutely all the time in the fucking world where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna fucking find this little niche and we're just gonna like pothole style just make this huge opening. We're just gonna steamroll through any challenge in this game.
Yeah.
I feel like I like the judges with the limiting weapons and abilities because it like is almost a counter to that where it's like, oh man, you got a really good thing going with swords. Well, not for this battle, you don't.
Well, see, I think it's just it was the first battle, and I was still trying to learn the game. I'd never played it. I was trying to figure it out and have fun.
Yeah.
Of course, all your characters have fucking swords. So, like, the first battle, I'm trying to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Everyone's suddenly in jail. I lose the battle, and it was just like, yeah, okay, fuck this.
Yeah.
There are so many more games to play. This is not going to be one for me.
Like Final Fantasy 11. No, I get it because that was like I remember playing Advanced and being like, that was fun. All right, time to play nothing but Final Fantasy 11 for 2 years.
Yeah. Oh man, I regret that, and I don't regret that.
I'm going back. Yeah, I'm gonna go back
before it shuts down.
So
No, it is shut down, isn't it?
The 360 servers and the PlayStation 2 servers are shut down. PC servers are still up and active.
Okay.
I had heard a rumor that it was all going to be done like November 25th or something like that of this year. Didn't happen. It's still going. The game is fucking. You can download the game for free, as far as I know. You have to play the subscription. But now, don't quote me on this. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can download. Or it might not be that. You might have to buy the latest expansion for like I think like $15 or something like that. When I was looking the other day, I was like, that's really cheap. I was like, what all does it include? Fucking everything. Everything. It's all.
And now you can play the whole game solo. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm tempted to go back and play it just to experience all the story because I never experienced all the story when I played through it when it first came out because it was impossible to play.
Oh yeah. And like one of the most frustrating things about it was downloading it, installing it. Do you have 5 hours and all the discs?
Right. That Play Online theme though.
Oh man.
Do, 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 do. Hey, guess who helped develop Play Online? The lead director.
Comcast.
The lead director of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
That is truth. That is 100% truth. I
can sort of see that.
I don't know why, but yeah, that was him.
But because Tactics, man, and there are certain little challenges in this game that I love because there are hidden abilities that you can only experience, that you can only get if very rare enemies use on you. So if you want to get
Blue Mage
100%
style.
completion, like learning Ultima is incredibly difficult in this game.
Just equip the Magicite.
Well, yeah, you could do that, I guess. It's hard to find. It's really it's almost impossible to find. And then, because I think, what is it? There are 12 zodiac signs or stones of the zodiac. And there's a secret, the 13th one, the man-made, like artificial one, the Serpentarius. And that one is, you can find the wizard who made it and find that stone on like the last level of the bonus dungeon. And if you survive his zodiac summon, then you learn it. But it's incredibly difficult to do. So, but man, I'm just cramming a lot of shit in there because I love this game so much. And there's so much to talk about.
No, this is, I think, honestly, dude, I think this is the best way to talk about it.
Yeah.
This is like you just pretty much.
You don't want to go through a walkthrough? Like,
Nope.
Bit by bit by bit of this game?
That sounds awful. That sounds awful. I love how you're doing it. I really do.
I got Jacob to play this game because I was so excited about him to play it.
Of Wolf Fighting Fame?
Of Wolf Fighting Fame. And he enjoyed it, but I remember he kind of hit a wall and was just having trouble, and he didn't want to, because either you love grinding in this game or you hate grinding in this game.
Yeah.
Because there's pretty much one way to do it. And because the map, the world map is just basically all the cities with roads to each
plot points.
landmark.
It's like literally points on a map that you walk to and from.
And you can you can travel safely between like towns are a safe point. Like any blue point is safe, and any orange point you can get in a battle. You can get in a random battle there.
Random encounter, sure.
And random encounters level with you, so they're always difficult. Story battles, though, are capped at a certain level.
Right.
And there's one point in the story that Jacob was enjoying it. He hit his wall, and Jacob will easily, if he gets frustrated, just be like, meh, walk away from a game and never pick it back up again, and be totally fine that he only played half of it.
Yeah.
Or I've seen him quit games 95% of the way through and just, I don't like this dungeon. I'm done. And I did not want that to happen with this game. I wanted him to play this game and finish this game. So we were sitting out at his dad's house. I remember I stayed up until the sun rose, grinding on. I didn't want to advance the story for him because I wanted him to get all of it.
Right.
But I was trapped at a certain point. So I just kept playing this one battle over and over and over again until I essentially set it up to where he could, without grinding, walk through every story battle for the whole rest of the game. So, and that got him to, oh, okay, cool. Played it and beat it.
Yeah.
And enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah.
But
Enjoyed all the bits that he played.
yeah. He's like, oh, I have everything, all the classes unlocked, and everyone's set up with auto potion and blah, 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 blah.
I like grinding in this game, which is weird because that's a thing that I guess certain games I like grinding, other games I don't. I like grinding in this game because the battles are fun.
Yeah.
There are bits that I don't like about grinding in this game, and that is where the most efficient way to grind some of the time is to just like attack your own party members.
Yep.
And
you have to take some kind of action to gain experience points.
And that sucks. I don't like that. I wish that's one of those things where it's like, this is a loophole that we need to fix.
Yeah, because I just can't get into a random battle, kill all the enemies but one, turn it into a chicken.
Yep.
And then just either use
beat the fuck out of each other.
A buff ability, or just beat each other and heal.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Until you get where you need to be.
I don't like that because then at that point it's just a time sink. And it's like you're just farming it.
Yeah.
And I get there's something therapeutic about that, but at a certain point it just really bums me out because it's like I would just rather let's just play the game instead of having to do this. And you don't have to do it. I don't feel like.
Because you'll see something because the game, it's a job-based game.
Right.
So everyone starts off with usually one class, and then as you gain levels, I think there's 8 levels maybe in every class, you get job points. And with those job points, you gain job levels, and then with the job points you accumulate, you buy skills for that level.
Right. Which is really cool. Dude, I love Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy games that have the job system.
Yep.
Like those are my favorites because I feel like those are very customizable. There are benefits to games like Final Fantasy IV where it's a set like this character is this class. There's a story benefit to that. But as far as just having fun with it as a game, I prefer the job system.
Like everybody starts off as either a squire or a chemist. Squires having basic abilities and chemists able to use items. So in this Final Fantasy, you can't just use all the items like you can in every other Final Fantasy. You have to buy the ability to, as a chemist, to make the item or whatever and then use it in battle.
Right.
And chemists also have the advantage that they can use. Normally, you can only use an item on yourself or whoever is one square adjacent to
away,
you. Yeah. Except for a chemist, they can use 2 or 3.
Right.
Which is actually incredibly fucking handy.
I can throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always, it's absolutely crucial for moments where it's like one of your squad members is down and the timer is just ticking away and they're about to disappear forever.
Yep.
Which will straight up make me reset the game.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. No one left behind. I have that reminds me. I have a question for you because I know how I do it. Every time I play this game, you have the option. Okay, let me start over. As you progress through the story, you meet NPCs who join your cause. And you can then play with those NPCs. You can bring them into regular battles. So eventually you get to the point where your whole team can be NPCs.
With unique classes.
Right, yes, unique NPCs. The other option is you can also recruit regular old vanilla class jobs that you build up. So my question to you is, when you play this game, Tyler, do you normally use the hero NPCs? Do you put together a group of all heroes? Do you put together a group of all zeros? Or is there a mix of the two?
The first time I played this game, all hero, all unique NPCs. Every other time, all customizable zeros.
See, that's the only way that I've ever done it is zeros. How is it different with heroes? since you've done it both ways? Is it easier going through the
Yeah. Well, like I don't know. You get to experience all the jobs. So I think really you get, in the long run, you get better characters.
As the Zeros.
Right. In the short term, the heroes are better because they will typically have better abilities, but that's all they're ever going to have. Like, because you don't want to change to a different ability for them, a different class. They don't, because normally for any other non-unique, their appearance changes to that class.
Right.
For a unique character, their appearance always stays the same.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's easier and it's quicker, but you have more fun and you have more flexibility if you customize your own.
It's so much more fun. It's so much more fun to start a character from nothing.
Because then you can name them whatever you want to name them.
That is important too.
Yep.
Yes. My favorite is Strawberry, because I always use the random name generator, because you can do it as many times as you want. And Strawberry, I landed on Strawberry, and I was like, "Yep, that's a name." And guess what my Chocobo's name is in Final Fantasy 15? Strawberry.
Yeah. Because let's see, you start off, you have like a friend with you at first, a random NPC named Rad.
Yeah.
So you get Rad for free. He is a customizable, and then
he's always like, "What's up, man?
I'm Rad."
Calm down, Rad.
You may be a samurai. I could be a samurai. What do you want me to be?
You've had too much watermelon rum. Go to sleep.
You can also, while I think it's cool, I don't think it's particularly useful, but you can find and recruit chocobos into your party.
And other monsters. Bombs, right?
Yeah, you can charm almost any enemy in the game. You can charm and they will join you, and they have their own unique abilities.
But they do kind of suck.
Yep.
Sometimes it is fun because you can use a chocobo as a mount in battle.
Yeah.
And that does have its advantages.
And it's badass.
Because they can go pretty much across the fucking map.
It sucks that you basically lose a character slot for it. So that takes away a little bit from it.
Especially
but
later on.
It's awesome that you can do that.
Yeah. Like once you can teleport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye, chocobos.
Because the first chocobo you save is the name Boko. You save him from goblins in the forest.
Right.
And like when you travel from point to point, eventually Boko will hatch an egg. So you can hatch your way through yellow to black to red chocobos that are more and more powerful.
And they have different abilities too. Chocobos are probably the most powerful in any Final Fantasy game in tactics, I feel like. Because which is it, the black chocobo that has essentially Meteor?
Red. It's a red chocobo.
It's red?
Yep. Because you see them, they turn to the side all like cocky and badass, raise their wing and lower it, and a fiery meteor comes out of the sky and lands on me.
Tellah weeps is the name of that. Only the true Final Fantasy kids will get that.
But yeah, I love that aspect. God, there's so many little details. Because of course, like I mentioned it before, Orlando, who is your father's best friend, Ramses' father's best friend,
who is essentially, I hate the spoil. You've seen the prequel Star Wars. Orlando's essentially Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. Like it's very much like the director of this game. He has cited before that Star Wars is one of his biggest influences, and he also directed Final Fantasy 12, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. But that is like if you play 12 and you're very familiar with the original trilogy, you're like, oh, this is Star Wars. I'm playing a Star Wars RPG with a rabbit woman instead of a Wookiee.
Yeah.
So I think that's neat. I really do, and that's like one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy localization in the 90s is all like the Star Wars references and stuff that they hide in the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I derailed you.
No, I'm glad you said that. But they call him, he's the Cid in the game. His battle moniker is Thunder God Cid. But because normally there are Holy Knights like the Agrius, and you fight several other enemies. Holy Knights have like 6 or 7 different sword abilities, that a very powerful sword blast in a straight line and a diagonal. They have all that big move set. And then Dark Knights have the 2 move sets to inflict hit point damage and absorb it, or inflict magic point damage and then absorb it. And then there are Divine Knights, who basically have a distance sundering ability. So they'll use their strike out with their sword, and they can break an enemy's helmet
many tiles away.
Yeah, and do an incredible amount of damage by doing it.
Right.
Normally, those are 3 different classes. Orlando, on the other hand, his one class has the abilities of all of those classes.
Because he's a Jedi.
Yep. So he's in the original playthrough. He's the only one that can use Gafgarian's abilities.
Yeah.
So and he comes with pre-equipped with the Excalibur, which is a third
lightsaber.
third strongest sword in the game.
Yeah.
Automatically hastes, so starts off and he's faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like the game, once you get him, the game is no longer a challenge at all.
Yeah.
The only way you can challenge yourself is just to send Orlando out by himself.
Yeah.
And even then,
have you done that before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can easily clear a whole thing with just Orlando.
Really?
Yeah.
We haven't really discussed how the combat works, because this is wildly different than how Final Fantasy games work. It's still turn-based, kind of like Final Fantasy games tend to be, the earlier ones. But this is all set up on a tile-based map. It's almost like playing a board game.
Yeah.
Or if you're more familiar with like wargaming or miniatures, it's more like that.
Yeah.
It's tactics is right in the name, and it's because like the battles in this game are very tactical.
Yeah.
You have to worry about distance, which is something you don't normally worry about in a Final Fantasy game. You have to worry about things like elevation, which you don't have to worry about typically.
Cover,
absolutely. Speed,
direction that enemies are facing. Like
Right.
you're way more. If an enemy has a shield, you're far less likely to hit them. You'll see the percentage chance whenever you go up to them. So if you go head to head with an enemy, like with a shield, there's a 20% chance you're going to hit.
Yeah.
You go to the side, it increases to 30%. You go behind them, it goes up to 45%. So it's a big,
I love it.
Yeah,
I
do too.
really love the battle system, and it's like let's see. Do you remember when we did Ogre Battle? For the SNES IGN list? I'll have a link to that in the show notes. That was also done by Matsuno. So you can see like some of the seeds for Final Fantasy Tactics there. I think Quest is the developer. He left Quest and did Final Fantasy Tactics for Square.
Okay.
And like it is, like I know there are fans of the Ogre series.
Yeah.
But man, Tactics is like it's.
In my opinion, if you play Tactics first, you're not going to enjoy the Ogre games.
It's so hard to go back because it is like Tactics is just a more refined version of the game.
So that you either have to go way more simple and do like Shining Force or Fire Emblem, or go with the far more advanced Tactics, and the middle ground that I just don't feel as satisfying either way.
Yeah.
Is like the Ogre Battle series.
Can I talk to you about Evilus for a minute? I absolutely adore this setting. I love everything about Evilus. Like when Final Fantasy XIV, the second Final Fantasy MMO was announced, I was crossing my fingers like, please let this be set in Evilus, because like you've got a good setting that's already created. Because I mean, you've got races that reappear. They're not so much in Tactics, but like every game after Tactics that's set in Evilus has these races, like the Viera, which are the bunny people, and then the Numo, which are like these shaggy humanoid creatures, and then you've got
Moogles.
Moogles, yep, they're a prominent race, and then you have like lizard folk, who are a civilized race, and you've got all this really cool stuff, and it's all like a medieval setting with little bits of like magical engineering thrown in there, and it's like I fucking love the setting. That's the setting for Final Fantasy XII, and it's also the setting for Tactics Advanced and A2. I've never played Vagrant Story, but I really want to. That also takes place in Evilus.
Oh, see, I've heard amazing things about that game. I haven't played it either.
You haven't played it either?
Nope.
And we never will because we don't have time.
That's true.
But I really want to play that game eventually. And that's not even like using the Tadpog meme eventually. It's like I really do want to play that game.
Yeah. Going back, further talk about the combat system, and then, of course, I mentioned the job system, and then you learn all those skills, and then because there is your primary set of skills, your subset of skills, your reaction skill, your your maintenance skill, and your movement. And basically you can pick up different different skills from each of those different jobs, and customize what you want.
Like you could pick up give me an example, like jump from Lancer?
Yeah, so Lancer, which is basically Dragoon for anybody else, that, they learn jump, vertical, jump horizontal in all these different directions.
And that would be your movement ability, right?
That's your secondary.
Oh, it's secondary?
You can do ignore height is their movement ability.
Okay, you're right, I'm sorry.
So you can immediately, because normally, I think if it's one elevation tick higher, you can move up to it by taking additional movement. But higher than that, and you're just blocked off. But you have the Dragoon ability, Lancer ability, ignore height, and then if then it treats the battlefield as a flat plane. So if you move up to a mountain that is 8 squares high, it just treats it as flat, so you can just jump up there and go.
But once you've learned it as a Lancer and you switch to, let's say, White Mage, if you've learned the movement ability for the Lancer, you can plug that in as your ability even if you're a White Mage.
Yep.
So now you can be a White Mage that pretty much ignores elevation on the battlefield. Like
one of a tried and true is like a Knight who has high attack, high defense, because heavy armor, and you can wield any weapon in the game. So to get levels in Knight, then eventually get to where you can take levels in Ninja. Ninjas can use 2 weapons.
Right.
So learn the skill 2 weapons, and then go back to Knight, equip that as your skill, and then have 2 badass heavy blades. Right. And then, of course, chemists have a skill called Auto Potion, which becomes essential. So whenever they're hit, they use whatever the lowest ranked potion that you have is automatically on themselves. So that was always my reaction skill for everyone, Auto Potion. And then I only had X potions in my inventory. So every time you get hit, heal 150 points. Heal 150 points.
I love this because I think it's indicative of our personalities and how we typically play games. Like that's your go-to reaction. You had that on everybody. I had counter on everybody.
Okay.
Where it's like if someone swings at you, regardless of whether they hit or miss, you get a swing at them, which sometimes would bite me in the ass because there are some enemies where it's like you don't want to physically hit that one.
Yeah.
You want to cast magic on that one. But
Blade Grasp is also a good one. I've played with that one a few times too.
Remind me what that one is. Is that
it's a samurai skill where when an enemy attacks, you will see them physically reach up and catch the blade with their hands and negate the attack.
Yeah. Samurai is a job that I neglected every playthrough.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because it's powerful, but it's kind of weird. Because samurai in this game, they have high offense, their defense kind of sucks, but their ability is they draw the soul out of swords. So any different katana you find in the game, you can use it and it has like a magical effect.
Yeah.
But they break.
And I don't like that. You know me. You know how I am. You know how I roll with items and inventory. It's like as soon as I figured out that's what samurai's about, I was like, nope. Not going to have any fucking samurai because I don't want to have to worry about a fucking sword breaking. I don't have to worry about finding special swords. Nope, this is not a job for me. Goodbye.
Yeah, so it finds out like once you get like rare swords you don't get many of, then it's just like, then it becomes hard to play because like there's so many random battles you might want to use them on.
Right.
And the enemies level with you, so it's still difficult. You want to use your powerful abilities. You need to use your powerful abilities. Yeah. But you're kind of hamstrung with samurai. So it has good abilities and you need a lot of levels in samurai.
Yeah.
Because like once you gain like 2 levels in squire and 2 levels in chemist, that unlocks archer.
Right.
And so you gain 3 levels in archer, 2 levels in squire, that unlocks knight.
Which makes the game extremely addictive for me because like I love that. I love like it kind of feeds on that same kind of like thing that World of Warcraft did for me, where it's like, oh man, in 1 more level, I get this. And then 2 more, like I'll get that level and I'll be like, oh, well, the next level, I get this. I'll just keep playing. And it's like always, I feel like in tactics, it's like every level seemed like it meant something. Every level meant something. Every job point meant something. Like I felt like everything was always building to something. It wasn't like in some RPGs where it's just like, okay, I got enough experience points to level up. My hit points went up a little bit. My attack went up a little bit. Great. It wasn't like that. It was more compelling. I felt like very much like the rat running on the wheel where it's like, I'm going to get that fucking cheese. And it fucking works. And it like, and because it's not just one character that you're leveling up, it's a whole team, that stuff is coming quicker than you think. And it just makes grinding addictive. But I don't want to stop.
Sometimes it sucks though, because like when you later in the game, you get a new character, like say Orlando, okay, again, who's the most powerful character in the game. Oh, it's like, oh fuck, he can't use X potions. He doesn't have all this kind of stuff. So then you have to dial it back and make him a shitty class at this point.
Right. And
go back and grind him as a chemist to get your basic abilities you've had for almost the entire game.
I see.
So stuff like that sort of sucks. Yeah. That is, I guess, another negative of playing with hero NPCs.
Yeah. I have more to say about this game. I don't know how much you want to save for part 2.
I think we should save for part 2, and because I know Josh will have plenty to talk about too. Because I wanted to have Josh. It didn't work out scheduling wise for us to have Josh on tonight.
So we're gonna do a part 2. Spoilers. And
because there's so much more to talk about this game.
Yeah, there's absolutely. I'm surprised, honestly. Like I felt like you were gonna carry this episode, which I do think that you did. But I was surprised how much I had to say about this game, which I haven't really played.
Once you start
in a while.
talking about it, it's like, oh yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about the iOS version, which I think is really good.
It perfectly lends itself to iOS.
It's really good. It's expensive. I remember when I was looking at it, I was like, ugh, I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was like, this is the most expensive app that I've ever bought. And I wasn't sure if it was worth it. And what sold to me was I had to go on a trip. And it was like, I was going on a trip where I didn't want to keep up with a whole bunch of fucking electronics. I didn't want to keep up with a fucking DS or anything like that. I was bringing my iPad anyway, and it was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get it on my iPad and just see how it goes. Really good. I mean, it went really well. Yeah. Like all the like touch controls that you're used to on a tablet, like pinching to zoom in and zoom out and like rotating with your finger. That's how it works.
Man, it's so good. It's so perfect.
It's not it's really good, but it's not great. It's really good, but not great, because there are times where it's like I'm trying to select a tile that's right next to me or a character, and it gets a little fidgety in that area.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it feels really nice to be able to rotate seamlessly.
Yeah.
The PlayStation, that was tough wrapping my head around it on the PlayStation controller for the first time.
I also remember the sound the camera makes when you turn the angle, that grinding bubble.
Yeah.
Man.
And one other thing I definitely want to talk about, because you talked about your first experience with the game. I remember vividly beating Final Fantasy VII, and I beat it in that you're probably familiar with this, like where it's so intense. When I was fighting Sephiroth, I wasn't sitting down. I was standing up. I was standing up for that 45-minute fucking battle, because it took me forever to beat Sephiroth.
But actually 3 turns. It's just somebody knocks around.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why. It's just nights around. So I finished Final Fantasy VII. I was like, holy shit, that was amazing. I was like, well, now what? Well, what do I do now? I played Final Fantasy III. I've played Final Fantasy II. But now what? What do I do? And I was like, well, I saw this game at Blockbuster called Final Fantasy Tactics, whatever that is. And I went and I rented it pretty much immediately after beating 7. I mean, it was like the next day kind of deal. Like I made special arrangements to go to the store, like the Blockbuster, to get it. I remember getting home. I put the disc in the PlayStation. The fucking opening cutscene was amazing. I was like, holy shit, because it's all this like, I mean, now it doesn't look so good, but like at the time it was like, oh my God, this is
Chocobo in armor.
I know.
With knights and lances.
I know. It was like, holy shit, I am pumped. I am ready to do this. And then I got in the game and it was like, what the fuck is going on?
To be so into 7, that's jarring as fuck.
What is going? Because I mean, it is like, it's a total shift. Like not just like mechanically, but tonally as well. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? I hated it. I hated this fucking game. I fucking hated it. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And I didn't want to because I felt like I was coming off of that Final Fantasy VII hype. And then I felt like that opening intro with the chocobos and the barding was like a complete fucking bait and switch because I was like, well, that looks really good. And this looks like a Super Nintendo game.
I remember because I'd already beaten it once and I was playing it again when I lived at the Dollar House. So I was in like middle school, early high school. And I remember like for some reason, like I just got super pumped up to play it. Josh and I would go through things like that where we would, because remember we talked about this game. We had the guide, the strategy guide, and we were going to stay at his aunt's house for the weekend, like hours away. And we were bringing the PlayStation. And we were like, oh man, we just talked about what we were going to do. We were going to play it together and have these classes and play it this way. We were so excited.
Nice.
Memorize, like going through the instruction booklet, talking about it.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
We get up there.
Yeah.
The disc was not in
Oh
the case.
my God.
Oh, we were fucking heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
I bet.
there's not much to do here. And now we have nothing to do.
Did you guys draw swords the whole time?
The most notable thing we did is we stayed up really late and watched The Beautician and the Beast.
Oh,
starring
how was
Fran
that?
Drescher.
I've never seen. Oh, I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I've never seen it though.
Not bad. not
Yeah.
bad.
Did it turn you around?
But
Fran
probably
Drescher?
bad.
Yeah.
But remember, because I was wanting to play this game for like the second time, I put it in my PlayStation. I cleared like the first 3 battles. Then I noticed like I would go into a battle screen, select your party. You have a small section of the map, so you can be strategic in how you place your characters in the start. And then when I would press start, I'd hear the loading of it. And I noticed it was taking longer and longer and longer between the battles, like to where it was like I would wait an hour before the next battle would load up.
The fuck.
And I played it like that for a while to eventually like
Was your memory
I start a
card
battle,
going bad?
I go to bed. Just the disc reader on my PlayStation was
Oh
just
my God.
dying out.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I remember like I was so upset. Like I just wanted to play this game so badly. My PlayStation was dead. It wouldn't work on anything anymore. So I was due to get a PlayStation 2 pretty
Electric
soon,
Boogaloo.
but I couldn't wait. And I talked to my parents and I did a bunch of chores and everything just to buy.
Picked up so many sticks.
I went and I bought another PlayStation for like 3 or 4 months before the PlayStation 2 came out because I just had
to play tactics.
I had to play more tactics.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good. So good.
It is a good game. It is probably in my, this is going to sound dumb, but it's probably in my top 5 Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
And it's
Top 5 Final Fantasy games and top 5 games for me, period. Period, end of story, top 5 ever.
yeah, and you love this game.
Oh, God, so much.
I really like this game, but you love this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like a lot of things about it. I like the setting. I like the War of the Lions made me like the story. I did not like it until then because I'll be honest, I did not understand it. Like there are lines of dialogue where it's just like, what? Where it's like, I understand all of the words that they're saying, but what does that fucking have to do with anything? It's like you're speaking in haiku or something, and it's like I have to decipher it and be like, well, what does he mean by this? It's a lot more straightforward in the War of the Lions, the remake. And I really, really like the remake. I would love to have enough spare time to just play through that one more time.
Yeah, man.
Just let me play through that one more time. That and Vagrant Story. And let me finish Final Fantasy 15 because I have not been able to do that yet.
Man, yeah.
Don't have time, dog. Just don't.
I hope I'll get it for Christmas, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll play it or what I'll do. I want to play The Last Guardian.
I do too. And I want to play Dead Rising 4. And I want to play. I still haven't played the new Doom. I want to do that too. I don't have fucking time, man.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yep.
You know it as well as I do.
Yep.
Time is a very, very valuable resource these days.
It's like, oh, do I want to spend quality time with my wife and have sex, or do I want to play a game from 15 years ago?
Well, I mean, that answer is different for a lot of people.
What, Kenna, you want me to go? You want to play blocks in the floor?
Yeah.
Do I want to play and spend time with my daughter before she grows up so fast? Or Phantasy Star 4?
On the other hand, Phantasy Star 4, Yeah, I know. I mean, look, you're preaching to the choir, man. I do understand it. I do.
So, I didn't set a timer. So how much time we got?
We're done.
Any idea?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll save achievements, save beers and glasses.
Yeah.
All that. Don't have time to take any calls then.
And we've been really just slapdashing the outro, which I love.
Yep.
Here are the high points I think we need to hit on the outros. We need the P.O. box, we need the phone number, and we need to thank Patreon donors.
Okay.
I think that's it. The rest of it is just kind of like, you know what? If anyone listening to this knows where to find us, they know they can find us wherever they found us.
Yeah. All the information is in at tadpog.com.
Right.
If you just see, like, oh, what's the address? You don't want to re-listen. It's all in the show notes. Every episode has the show notes that we go through.
Right.
Everything that we're saying, we iTunes, Amazon, we have shirts. We probably plug shirts.
Yeah, we got shirts. If you want a Tadpog shirt, go to Amazon, search for Tadpog. If you want to mail us something, what's the P.O. box again? I don't have it memorized.
Nicole, Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42003. And if you want to call us, leave a voicemail. Oh, yeah.
Do you have a suggestion of what people might be able to send us in our P.O. box?
Well, I'm loving all these fucking postcards.
There's one.
I have a stack of them, and it's awesome.
Your hot little hand.
So this is Arches National Park. It's a landscape of a rock that forms a natural arch, and it's very pretty. And I'm going to turn it over. Took a weekend trip down to Moab, Utah. I got this picture under the arch on this postcard in my Tadpog shirt.
Nice.
Love you guys. Nate from Utah.
I've seen that photograph.
Man, he is such a fucking world traveler. It's awesome. What do you do, Nate? What do you do? Are you just just a dilettante? You just have the money, go around wearing your Tadpog shirt, going to
Harlem
other places?
Globetrotter Nate from Utah. That's his title.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
My favorite episodes with Harlem Globetrotter Nate are ones with like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and Phyllis Diller.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that we're so similar sometimes. Like to a weird degree. Yeah.
We're both Diller heads.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man, big Diller. Yeah. Oh, God. All day, every day. But you know what? You're an auto potion guy. I'm a counter guy. But somehow
That's true.
we reach across the aisle and go and unite ourselves over Diller.
I'll go do our phone number since I mentioned you have Patreon. If you want to call us, leave a voicemail, send a text. We love those. We're getting to those. So you can do that at 270-883-2555.
Nailed it. We do have a Patreon. If you enjoyed this episode, I urge you to donate on patreon.com/tadpog. If you give at least $1, you get access to all the bonus episodes that we've recorded and that we'll record in the future. I am starting to get a little stressed out about December's. Are we good for that?
Everyone is in. I just need to finalize the time.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel better. So I'd like to thank a few people who have recently edited their pledges or recently donated, starting with Platinum member Brett Miller for upping his donation. Brett, thank you very much. I would like to thank Trash Bear Joseph E. Willard III for upping his donation. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank Magical Sleeper, a.k.a. Chris, who I don't think we've got a title for, but might need to because he significantly upped his pledge. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Micah Purdue, a.k.a. Exalted Lord Micah Purdue, for upping his donation, riding that penny train. Let's see. I'd like to thank, once again, Platinum member Brett Miller for upping his pledge a considerable amount.
Yeah.
So, Brett, thank you very much again. Let's see. That is not it. I'd like to thank Tadpog, Santa, Jack of Ziggy Moons, Akemi, for upping their pledge. Looks like they are also riding that penny train. And is that it?
What? I thought we have one more.
We got one more. You're right. And that is Joey Webster, who recently upped his donation by a penny. So I'm going to assume penny train, which I like how I said it like panty train. Thank you, everybody, for riding the panty train.
Let's see. Well, we have an Instagram, TADPOG_podcast. I haven't done anything with that in a while. I need to.
We have a Twitch, TADPOG. Haven't done much with that recently. This whole month, pretty much.
No.
So, when it's our full time, thing, I'm gonna we're gonna be fucking, we're gonna be twitching, we're gonna be Instagramming,
we're gonna be so presidential. We're gonna be blown away by how presidential and professional we're gonna be.
Look here, like, okay, if there's a silver lining to the way that everything's turned out, I don't want to try to be too political, but there's a silver lining, like there's hope. Where it's like if the reality TV star Donald Trump can become the president of the United States of America, there is at least a slim fucking chance, Tyler, that you and I can one day do TADPOG as a full-time job.
And be the 2 senators from the state of Kentucky.
I don't know, dog. Mitch McConnell.
Grandpa Mitch McConnell. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys.
That dude is gonna be a demi-lich. Like, he's gonna be like,
oh man,
he's gonna represent Kentucky for the next 600 years.
he has, like, he got elected in 1984. He has been the senator my entire fucking life.
I know.
And he is such a piece of shit.
Well,
I'll get political, at least with Mitch McConnell. He dude's a piece of shit.
No, it's personal. It's not political. It's personal.
It's my state. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm not saying I disagree with you.
He's got what the clip they showed on the Daily Show where they're interviewing, because he's the Senate Majority Leader now, and they're trying to interview him to make a comment about Donald Trump. Just like, do you support him saying this and this and this? And Mitch McConnell looks just like a confused old man trying to dodge the question, just like, well, I'm glad all of you have come here today. It's very nice to see you.
Thank you, Franklin the Turtle. Could you answer the question, please?
Yes, we drew you to get into that art school that we saw. Thank you.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever do the drawing
I wanted
test?
to. I thought about it, but I never did.
I did, and I never mailed it in, which is for the better. Because the old, like, when I got older, like, someone told me that was a scam, and I'm
sure it was.
Like, it had to have been, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Our theme song is Moves. I was thinking more driving to that track from the show notes at tadpog.com. How do you want to close this out, Dave?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think that we should
Like Mitch McConnell.
Definitely like Mitch McConnell. Okay. That's good. I was gonna say that we should both drink 5 shots of rum and close it, but that's good. Mitch McConnell's good.
No, I'm alone in the house right now, so we can just 5 shots of rum each and just go nuts.
You wanna? Do you think? Okay, let's see.
Let's finish this bottle.
How long? Yes. Do you think that we could do it in 10 minutes?
It would be the last hour of our life, probably.
Nah, we wouldn't die. I wouldn't be able to get home, but we wouldn't die. What's the proof on that watermelon Bacardi?
35%.
Ah, we got it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We got it. I mean, it's gross.
Yeah, that would be pleasurable.
We might die of just being
we just have
out.
Sugar shits all over this carpet.
Yeah. All right.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn. I'm gonna beat Allison Lundberg and Grimes' ass.
These chips are really good.
Yeah,
These chips are really, really good.